Hello and welcome to Autology, the podcast that brings you the latest on automotive technology. Today's episode is called 2023 Case Closed, and you're here with me, Alicia Thakalal, and S&P Global Mobility's analyst, Vivek Beriwal, alongside Selva Subramanian. Hello to you both and thank you for joining Autology.
Thank you for inviting, Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. Thanks for inviting.
Lovely, and thank you for being here. So 2023 has been an eventful year for the automotive industry, and it would be good to have a review of the key developments over the past 12 months, particularly focusing on the movements in and around CASE, so connected, automated, shared, and electric. But perhaps instead of shared, we'll switch that S to software, with seemingly everything recently being related to software-defined vehicles. So first up, Vivek, how do you rate 2023 from a connected car development perspective?
Yeah, sure. Looking back at 2023, I think it'd be fair to say that more automakers and vehicles embraced 5G, which obviously led to more robust V2X connectivity as well as OTA update capabilities in general. And talking specifically about V2X communications, a huge development took place in the US where the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC as we know it, waived off several rules to permit deployment of cellular V2X. Now, this is a huge development considering that mainland China and most of Europe already has committed to cellular V2X. And this move was highly anticipated. And it came just at the right time as regulators in the US prepare to give shape to its larger ITS framework. Yeah.
Okay, understood. And what about on the over-the-air update side of things?
Yeah, from an OTA perspective, there has been an unmistakable mainstream market emergence of over-the-air update capabilities over the past 4 to 5 years now. And 2023 was no different. Most EV producers like, Tesla and mainland China's NIO, these two companies come to my mind straight away. They continue to go strong with their respective OTA programs. This development has obviously led to more robust connected services portfolio across the industry. And if I were to share some snippets from the Consumer Electronics Show that happened in 23, I think the joint Air Ubiquiti Electrobit OTA software management platform and Visteon's AllGo suite of connected services were important developments. Likewise, the IAA mobility event that held in Munich saw a slew of car launches featuring OTA updates, including the Lotus Electric and then the Opel Corsa Electric and a couple of electric vehicles from China's Leapmotor brand as well.
Okay, understood. And inevitably, speaking about connected cars, we also have to mention what I think is the key buzzword for 2023, SDVs. Software-defined vehicles. What are the key developments there?
Yeah, that's a good question. The software-defined vehicle is very buzzy these days, Development-wise, the Android Automotive OS continued to gain traction in 23, with many companies launching their versions of Android Automotive compatible infotainment platforms. Some of the names I can recall are Cinemo. Then there's Garmin. And Google also launched a refresh Android Auto app. Another trend that consolidated during the year was that more vehicles adopted wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay platforms, with only a handful of brands, I think, now offer wired connections.
All right, understood. And since you mentioned CarPlay, I know there was a big hoo-ha about BMW charging its owners for CarPlay, and they did end up reversing that decision, but there has been a keen focus on monetizing connected offerings. Can you give us the key developments here for 2023?
Sure. So no one in the industry, let's face it, is monetizing vehicle connectivity better than Tesla. And it continues to thrive in this space, as we can see. The company continues to leverage its extensive software skills and what we can call a built from the ground up electrical architecture to generate huge revenues from sending functional software updates over the air, and which includes its self-driving and usage-based insurance packages. And another name I can think of is General Motors. It's going stronger in the connected services space with each passing year now. It has earmarked, I think, if I'm not wrong, $20 to $25 billion revenue for service subscriptions and around $6 billion for its OnStar insurance division by 2030.
Okay, so quite a lot of money can be made from it. Interesting. What other connectivity-driven businesses do you think made an impact in 2023?
When we think of other businesses, a data aggregation business comes to my mind. 2023 saw it was rather unexpected, but we did saw the collapse of two of the largest connected car data aggregators in Autonomo and Vejo. Perhaps this development perhaps underscores the many challenges within space still, like insufficient demand for car data. Then we've got data privacy and ownership concerns, and also consumers are a bit reluctant to adopt and pay for connected services. But nevertheless, some of the positive developments in the connected services space in 2023 would include, BMW Group's collaboration with Mapbox, which entails equipping new models featuring the Mini operating system 9 with an all-new Mapbox navigation system. And I think this new navigation system will first be launched in the X1 and Mini family, followed by other models such as the 2 Series Active Tourer and the X2. Another important development I could think of is KPIT's investment in the Air Console gaming platform, which is aimed at increasing Air Console's market share and scale the rollout of the platform to more vehicle models and brands. In 2023, Air Console managed to scale its partnership with BMW and has now extended that to the Mini brand.
Okay, understood. And just one last quick thing. We have to mention AM radio, which was, seemingly on the verge of extinction with the rise of EVs. Firstly, can you explain why you may have to say goodbye to it? And is it a case of out with the old and in with the new come 2024 for AM radio?
Yes. So automakers can, they claim that electric motors can interfere with the AM radio frequencies, making it, sound rather staticky over the airwaves. However, owing to resistance from US lawmakers and AM radio supporters, Ford, I think, who was one of the first to discontinue AM, it decided to forego its decision and keep it for now. And on top of that, a bipartisan group of US senators acted quickly. And if I remember correctly, they have a bill introduced that directs the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, to issue a rule that says, and I quote here, requires automakers to maintain AM broadcast radio in their vehicles without a separate or additional payment fee or surcharge. So yes, AM radio is not going away anywhere, at least not very soon.
Oh, good. So that's a relief, particularly for those people who live in rural areas. So it's been quite an eventful year from a connected car perspective. But moving on to automated technologies, there has been a lot of buzz around the decision to disable Tesla's autopilot. Selva, can you break down the reasons behind this move and its potential impact?
Certainly, Arisha. If you see, I've seen many instances where individual autopilot features were temporarily disabled by Tesla. That is, it happened, for specific uses. Tesla is addressing these concerns by prioritizing safety over convenience, which could help rebuild what I felt, the key moment occurred earlier this month that we observed when Tesla initiated the largest ever recall for its vehicle on US roads. The recall was driven by concerns regarding autopilot's interaction with emergency vehicles. Definitely, this move underscores the growing challenges facing autonomous vehicle development in the US. And the safety concerns continue to be the priority in the US. So Tesla's response involves the installing new safeguards and addressing existing defects. However, I feel that this recall also sheds light on broader issues such as the absence of adequate hardware as well for driver monitoring in older Tesla vehicles. This is not only raises questions about Tesla's autopilot development practices, but also has the potential to impact consumer enthusiasm, because I've connected with few of my friends from US, and everyone are like, the enthusiasm is bit the lower side for those customers.
Okay, understood. And what about General Motors' Cruise? I mean, the company recently lost its operating license in California, following a fatal accident involving a self-driving taxi. And can you provide some insights into the reasons behind Cruise's license suspension, and in fact, what it means for the future of autonomous driving?
Definitely. I knew, Alicia, that you would talk about GM after Tesla, because it's again the big news across the web. Yeah. So coming back to the question, the fatal accident raised serious questions. Definitely, about cruise safety protocols and testing procedures, and even the California Department of Motor Vehicles identified deficiencies leading to the suspension of cruise operating license. This incident definitely underscores the challenges of ensuring safety in a complex autonomous system, and it is highlighting the necessity for robust regulatory oversight across. The suspension is likely to prompt a shift in the industry's focus from rapid development and market competition to a more cautious approach, that prioritize safety moving forward.
So, is safety taking center stage? Do you think that other companies in the industry will follow suit?
Oh, that's a great question, Alicia. As per the understanding, and as per it's supposed to seem like a wake-up call for the entire autonomous driving industry. So not only for the cruise, but it will be replicating for other major players as well. So for companies are likely to reevaluate their safety measures. They are emphasizing their responsible development and testing. So the focus is it's moving pushing for all full autonomy to improving the existing ADAS features, whatever the companies right now they're handling. We can expect the industry and consumers to become more refined, and the customers will become more demanding, clearer information and stronger safety assurance across. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and then moving on, it seems that everyone in the industry is focusing on software and EE architecture. I mean, what has been one of the key movements in these areas in 2023?
Yeah, good question, Alicia. Again, so well, if you see, traditionally there is been a divide between hardware and software in vehicles, right? So every time we can see there is something happening between the hardware and software, and the current situation is now undergoing a significant change. I can see. So we are witnessing a move towards a zonal approach. So where multiple control units are, for reducing the wiring complexity. So for definitely this zonal architecture is not just a buzzword, it's a game changer. It's going to promote modularity and scalability, and it will additionally enable the integration of emerging technologies like ADAS and L2 plus automation as well. So and one company at the forefront, even Vivek was mentioning about Neo. So even I'll mention about the Neo company over here, because they have taken a unique approach across by developing an advanced driver assistant chip in their in-house using a cutting-edge 5 nm process with over 50 billion transistors.
Interesting. And besides centralization, what other developments have there been?
Well, one shift that is happening in the field, maybe I can tell us the electrical system. So traditionally, they have operated at 12 volt, but if you see now, Tesla is challenging the status quo by adopting a 48 volt low voltage architecture. This suggests a significant increase in voltage, and it comes with several advantages as well, because higher voltage system can support more hungry components and technologies, and which will eventually improve the overall efficiency, and it will enable the integration of advanced features as well.
Understood. Um, so is that a move or a trend that aligns with the, increase of electrification and digitalization of vehicles?
Absolutely, why not? Because this shift towards higher voltage architecture is a key trend to watch in the automotive industry. So, additionally, I just want to underscore the advent of automotive hypervisors as well, because it is making a significant development in the ever evolving field of automotive technology right now, fundamentally transforming the way the sector operates as well as a whole.
Okay. And just a quick one, what are automotive hypervisors and, how significant are they?
Okay, so uh, Okay, Alicia, let's imagine your car's brain, the ECU, because traditionally, which is managing all the tasks from controlling the engine to handling safety features and entertainment systems till now. So, however, the rise of connected services and vision of autonomous driving overwhelmed these systems. So right now, automotive hypervisor is coming into the picture. So which is acting as a conductor for a maybe complex orchestra, I can tell. So it's a sophisticated software layer which is enabling multiple operating systems to run on a single hardware platform. And answering to a question, which is why is this so crucial? So picture a car needing to execute safety critical functions like anti-lock braking systems while handling other non-safety tasks as well, like in car entertainment simultaneously. So the hypervisor ensures these functions coexist smoothly, avoiding interferences. So technically also, integrating hypervisors set the stage for the future of automobiles by expanding the car's capabilities. Also, with hypervisors, if you see, the possibilities are limitless. So you will have a seamless integration with smartphones. Advanced driver assistance systems will be the integration integrated very easily, and an overall and more efficient driving experience. Customers will get it.
Yeah, got it. And just a quick follow-up on that. Do you see any key trends in the world of automotive hypervisors?
Definitely, Elisha. Key trends which I'll include is the rise of Type 1 hypervisors, especially for peak performance. And I can see real-time hypervisors for reliability, and as well as, if you see multi-domain hypervisors or making for streamlined software developments. And also, I'll put artificial intelligence is making hypervisors very smarter, and which is becoming a cloud-based solution as well for simplifying administration. So cybersecurity is a priority, yeah, definitely, with secure features like encrypted communication. And when you see of open source hypervisors like Zen and ACRN are gaining traction for their transparency and cost effectiveness, I'd love to say. And however, they come with many challenges in terms of development and maintenance, so compared to commercial hypervisors which is there. And the major challenge would be the risk of cyber security in connected vehicle. So that's where I feel the cyber security risk. And other than that, I feel there are lots of key trends happening across automotive hypervisors, and moving forward we will see more developments happening across these type 1 hypervisors as well.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for shedding light on that, Selva. And then coming back to you, Vivek, I know at the start I said that we'd substitute the shared in case for software, but it would be good to know some of the key developments in the sort of shared arena anyway. Can you shed some light on that?
Yes, sure. I mean, it's, shared mobility or software, both are important in today's landscape. So, you see, as mobility as a service use cases continue to gather momentum, one area that I see growing quickly is secure digital vehicle access. Although there are many, you know, why I say so? Because these systems bring in a lot of convenience, security, and extensive capabilities. We've seen how digital vehicle keys installed on encrypted smartphone or even smartwatch apps have been enabling functions such as locking, unlocking, and starting the engine. But Hyundai, is worth mentioning here. They took a step forward when they announced last October that they will allow their digital key 2 feature to support cross-platform compatibility, which will allow contactless digital key sharing between smartphones, initially for iPhones, Samsung Galaxy, and Pixel devices, before expanding to other brands. So yeah, that's a key development in this domain.
Okay, that's interesting. And then can you pinpoint some areas within mobility as a service that are likely to make a lasting industry impact in the foreseeable future?
Yes. So other connected car areas driven a lot by mobility as a service use cases would be in-vehicle infotainment, including music streaming services and in-car gaming, and more recently in-vehicle commerce as well. So apps designed specifically for automotive use have become increasingly popular in recent years. Drivers and passengers expect a level of functionality and features that are on par with their smartphones. In fact, OEMs are introducing their own app store platforms and are no longer reliant on Android and Apple stores. So, this not only creates the opportunity for these OEMs to capture commission from the app developers, but also gives them access to invaluable data on consumers' driving, charging, and even spending habits and preferences. And this whole cycle again unlocks the potential for recurring subscription revenues. But if you want me to pinpoint specific developments, I would like to mention Volkswagen announcing the so-called Group Application Store at the Mobile World Congress in 23, which it developed in collaboration with Harman, I guess. Yeah. And Audi is the first brand to integrate the store in selected models and markets starting July 23, before being rolled out to other models and regions. Then again, I see the Foratia Aptoid App Store. By the way, it already has over 3 million cars on board. Foratia Aptoid teamed up with app distribution platform called Catapult in 2023, and what these companies plan to do is they combine their services so that the new platform can be used by developers to design and fine tune their apps and games for cars. OEMs can customize their app stores, and users they get access to a wide range of apps and games tailored to their own very interests. Then I would also like to touch on in-vehicle commerce here. We all know, vehicles have now begun to function as mobile wallets, as the whole ecosystem. You name it: automakers, traditional payment companies, digital infrastructure providers, technology companies. They all want to join the party. They all want to seize the revenue streams arising out of the connected dashboard. So they're combining location intelligence, navigation assistance, and secured payment mechanisms, and allowing drivers to seamlessly shop, make payments, and carry out service transactions on the move. And automakers and vehicle service providers would are obviously embracing this trend with open hands. It not only offers new levels of convenience, they see lucrative monetization opportunities which it brings along. So the current in-car payment space is mainly driven by 5 key use cases. The top being fueling or EV charging, that's the largest. Then you can say tolling, then parking, insurance, and repair and services. And again, if we look back at 2023, then some of the developments worth talking would be Mercedes-Benz, which partnered with Mastercard to launch an in-car at-the-pump payment solution using the fingerprint sensor, which was integrated into the MBUX infotainment system. Then early in 23, Visa teamed up with a cloud-based mobile commerce company called P97 Networks to enable EV charging payments across public networks. Yeah, that all these developments, make me wonder why automakers are so excited about mobility as a service use cases, as it brings along very huge data monetization potential. To quote some examples, I can say Renault, for example, expects its car sharing, energy, and data related services brand, which they call Mobilize. They they expect Mobilize to account for 20% of their revenue by 2030. And similarly, talking about Volkswagen, they foresee 20% of their group revenue to come from subscription and mobility services by 2030 again. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Thank you for that. I thought when you were going to say, the main use cases for in-car payments, I thought you were going to say using your car in a drive-through from McDonald's to pay for EV charging makes more sense. Naturally, just shows you where my mindset is at. Okay, but we're finally going to move on. We're going to move on to the electrification side of things. I just have one quick question. Are we as far along as we thought we would be in the sale and uptake of EVs, as well as the installation of EV infrastructure, Selva?
While we are not exactly where we envisioned, as of the the forecast as well, what we have done it, because but the EV revolution is undeniably underway. But as per the forecast, in 2023, global EV sales surpassed 12 million, which is tripled in just 3 years. And the projections for 2020 2030, as per the S&P Global analysts indicate a potential 40 million in sales. But if you ask the question whether we have the way we are, but right now no, but in the future, but we are trying over there, because despite the success, there are lot many challenges persist, right? So affordability, it's an issue, and there are range concerns, and unequal access to charging facilities are also an obstacle for a potential buyer. So high upfront cost also, with limited driving range, and insufficient charging infrastructures are also going ongoing concerns. And the external factors also will play a major role, like supply chain disruptions and geopolitical events, like the war in Ukraine have impacted the production and availability. So as well as on the infrastructure front, answering to your question, progress has been made, and we can see with over 1 million public charging stations worldwide as of 2023. But the government policies and incentives also, they're promoting as much as they can with promoting the infrastructure development. But I'm seeing the industry, despite these efforts, significant gaps still exist, and especially when it comes to rural areas. For instance, if you see, often lack of sufficient charging options across the rural areas, and concerns about speed, reliability, and equitable access persist, especially in the rural areas. So that remains a concern as well, on this projection.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. Great stuff. And just before we wrap up today's podcast, it would be interesting to know, Vivek, what's your outlook for the wider connected car and shared mobility industries after witnessing 2023?
Yeah, sure. Well, I have a pretty positive outlook, Alicia. I expect 2024 to further the developments seen in 23. The proliferation of connectivity and the increase in OTA-enabled vehicles continue to fuel automakers' revenue ambitions through software and services. So the industry leaders of the past have maintained their position in 23, but the market has now matured to the point where emerging players are launching or have even launched their own connected service or data platforms. So in 2024, I can safely say there will be more advanced offerings from this new segment of automakers that hope to achieve high profit margins and more stable revenue from their fleet of connected vehicles. This development will likely have a significant impact on many consumers as they encounter these paid add-on services for the first time. Even speaking about traditionally cautious automakers are beginning to strategize around the software-defined vehicle and construct data platforms that can be utilized externally. Upcoming vehicle launches in 24 with more capable OTA platforms will likely provide these automakers an enriched and extended opportunity to engage with their fleet and re-attract consumers to their brand, and even further monetize them or circumvent costly recalls. So yeah, in terms of connected services overall, I expect safety and security related services like emergency call, then in-vehicle commerce, location-based services such as those related to parking and charging, music streaming, in-car gaming, and last but not least, remote digital access to gain substantial momentum in 2024.
Okay, and Selva, do you anticipate any challenges in 2024?
Good question. You started with the Tesla autopilot disabling, and you just again came up with the challenges for 2024. It's like I foresee that the automotive industry in 2024 will face challenges. Because it's shaped by global dynamics and tech advancements, and there are lots of twists happening in the supply chain scenario as well. And especially, I need to highlight over here the key factor, maybe the impact of US chip export ban, and also the after effects of the recent chips shortage. And despite restrictions, China remains determined, in pursuing their autonomous cars, because everyone are signaling towards the innovation. And even China, when there are certain restrictions are happening, but still they are signaling their commitment towards innovation. So post chip shortage, the correction of excess chip inventory globally reflects a move towards a balanced supply chain, and along with that, rising chip prices put pressure on OEMs and as well as on the suppliers to balance profitability and address concerns on vehicle prices. So looking ahead, concerns remains about a potential 2025 chip shortage for as per the forecast, urging stakeholders to remain vigilant and definitely should be proactive for sustained resilience.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. A big thank you to you both for joining Autology.
Thanks for having us, Alicia. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
Lovely to have you, and thank you to all you listeners for tuning in as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode at our autology at spglobal.com email, and you can find out much more at autotechinsight.ihsmarket.com. Don't forget to hit all the subscribe, follow, and like buttons to stay on track with the latest Autology podcast, and we look forward to you joining us again in the new year. But for now, it's bye from us.